Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is C.O.G by Stephen Finn, Dr. Finn's Games. Now this is live on Kickstarter now, and it is in that place in a Kickstarter where it's working to get funded and needs some attention. And I have to say, I had not played this, but I saw where it was at, and I asked Steve, I said, hey, let me check out the game, because it looks great. And we were working on Herbaceous together, so we didn't have time, but I've reviewed all of his other games, and I was like, let me have some time with it. So this is C.O.G. This is a neat game. This is like a little bit of crosswords, wordplay, mixed with worker placement. And it actually is more gamer game than word game. Words are important and it's relevant, but it's really just this neat game that's a combination of those things in this steampunk atmosphere. So it's 2 to 4 players. You have this main board on which you have a variety of different, of course you have 4 sides, but on each side, one side lets you draw tiles, turn order, action cards, and dice which move you around the middle. And then you have each player as a player board. This is the grid, this is the Scrabble area where you're essentially going to be using your pieces to build Scrabble. Essentially, all players have target, it's a victory point game, we're working to get the most victory points, and like all Stephen Finn stuff, the layered mechanics and numbers are flawless. I mean, they're perfect like always, but each player has 5 of these goal cards, which are a series of words. So you can see this one says nut, oil, pipe. Another one might say cog, crank, gas, iron. These are all steampunk themed, and you are working towards these goals. As you spell each one of these words, you get to put a little piece on it. Once you spell all 4, you're going to get the victory points at the top of the card. So essentially, when I'm building, I'm looking to spell out those words on the board. Now, the reason I say it's more about the game side of it than it is sort of the word side of it is you are focused on those words. So it's that Scrabble play around the words, but it's not any word. And in that sense, it's nice. You don't have to worry about your vocabulary. You're working towards the words. It's a little bit more positional tactical play than it is who's got the biggest vocabulary. And for me, somebody without a big vocabulary, I enjoyed it. But then the tiles that are in the game, and this is all prototype pieces, and he always delivers nice stuff, but the tiles become resources that you're acquiring and using and gaining. So you start with a few, but you don't get tiles just for using tiles. You get tiles for finding the question mark spots on the board. You get tiles by the placement worker phase. So as I was saying, before you do your word play, everyone is going to get to play one spot around the board. So each person has 4 sort of action cogs, and they place around the board. In the top slot, you'll get 3 tiles which are exposed, like so. If this was on the table, actually I'm going to say that one's 3. The one next to it would be 2. This one over here would be 1 tile plus an action token, which lets you flip over tiles, change cards, do some neat things. So you play to acquire tiles in a worker placement, sort of who gets it, who goes first. You're going to play for these dice. That way you get more victory points and bonuses around the board. You can get these action cards, which I'll describe in a second, or turn order. So you have sort of this worker placement phase to get your cards, to get your turnover, to get your actions, and then you have your sort of word creation phase. Action cards are anything where from victory points to more of those little star tokens that let you do cool things, to these really neat item cards. The item cards are words from those other player cards that you can fill, but instead of having to do it on the board, you can fill it into the tile. So if I get the 2 Bs, I can get bulb, and I can take the bulb token, or I can just get victory points and question marks. Lots of little stuff. The game it takes a little while to wrap your head around it, but once you're in the flow, it moves very quickly. There's a setup in the middle of each turn that is amazingly C.O.G-like. Like everyone is reaching in and setting things up. It's weirdly evocative, but it works. It flows. It's got nice play. The word section doesn't feel too long. Everyone does that simultaneously, so and you're not, you're just playing with your 3, 7, 10 tile, not 10 because you max at 7, but 2, 5, 7 tiles. And there's a lot of just interesting strategy and approaches on words. Am I going to go for, am I going to, I was playing a game recently where I was big on letters on the board, but Emily was working on cards. So there's a lot you can do with it. So do check it out. The Kickstarter only has probably 7, 8, 9 more days Worth your attention. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.